Hey there. Let's check these levels here. That actually doesn't sound too bad. All right, we are going live now for the first time. Let's see how this works out. This is a very new experiment for me. All right. So yeah, we are live now. If you are watching this live, one thing you could do, because we're not doing this through Facebook Live, I can't see who's watching or listening through Facebook. Um, So if you are doing that, just give that post a like or comment or something, so I can tell if anybody is out there right now. All right. All right. Let's see. Sorry, going through all this show prep that did not get done ahead of time. Professional. All right. All right. If you're having any problems, if you can't hear me, can't see me, can't whatever, again, just put a comment on wherever you're watching this at. If for some reason you're not watching this through Facebook, you can always just send a tweet. And I'm just reading out. Wow, that's weird. I tweeted in German apparently earlier. Huh. Okay, or Dutch. Excuse me. That's interesting. Ik ben in livestream gestart op. All right. Don't know how that happened, but okay. Anyway, so this is going to be a pretty short little chat here. The main thing we're going to talk about, obviously, is the Irvin move to New York Cosmos. I was planning on waiting. I wasn't going to try doing this until Monday, which is when I'm going to try and have kind of the regular show come out on Monday, and we can talk about the weekend's games and things like that. But I figure with the Irvin move today, it's been kind of the biggest, at least the most shocking news that's come out this offseason, at least since we found Preki. So I figured I'd go ahead and jump on, try and get a quick chat in about that. All right. So obviously, yeah, that was something that really, I think, shocked all of us. I certainly don't know anyone who saw that coming. This was not something, that there was this clear writing on the wall that was going to happen now. I think a lot of us thought, one more year, like he was sticking around, and then, he might move on somewhere else. Did not expect it to happen this season, at least not this close to this season. If this was going to happen, I would have thought it would have happened a while ago. But the big question, why the move? Why is he going? I think that it's obviously not that he's not a talented enough player. He's a very good player. Certainly one of the best players we have had. And I think, the obvious thing to say is that he just doesn't fit into Preki's plans. Irvin is a counterattacking, break that last line of defense kind of player. And I think Preki's going to look for guys who can play a little bit better when we have the ball and can work in that offense instead of trying to break the other team's defense. And with that being the case, yeah, that's not really Irvin's forte. That's not his strong point. I mean, he can do it and he can contribute, but playing the type of ball it looks like Preki's going to want to play, yeah, Irvin may not be his first choice. Now the question then comes is, well, who is the one who made that decision? What it is it? Did Preki go, listen, I have no use for this guy. He's not going to fit in my system. Let's try and ship him off somewhere. Or was it Irvin who said, well, listen, I'm not going to get the playing time I want here. I'm not going to be able to play to my strengths here. So I want to move. And in the long run, I mean, does it really matter? I mean, either way, the result was going to be the same. Either somebody was going to, Irvin was going to stay here and not be able to fulfill his kind of full potential, or he was going to clearly just have to move on one way or the other. So, like I said, I don't care. I don't care if this was. So I'm really gonna try not to hit this mic 1,000 times. Um, but no, I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter to me whose decision it was. I know in a tweet Irvin sent out, he referenced it as, he said, my decision. Now, whether that's his decision to leave or that his decision to pick the Cosmos, I don't know. And we may never know. And like I said, but does it really matter that much? Um, I think a lot of us were surprised that it was the Cosmos he's heading to, a team that, didn't look like they were going to be around this year, a team that may not be able to pay their players. At least they've had problems with that in the past. So it was a little surprising there, especially considering we're getting some compensation for them as well as taking the wages off. But I guess this new group that's come in for them, I guess they have some money to splash, at least for now. We'll see how long that holds out. I think that the clear thing with him, though, is that there was no way we were selling him to a USL rival. I think that was the one thing that's clear. He could have gone to almost any team in the USL and made them better. Even if he didn't fit within their framework, he could still add that something coming off the bench. So there's no point in him going somewhere in USL. Because either he was going to end up same situation he would have been here, or he would have gone somewhere where that was the missing piece they needed, and they would have been a real threat to us. Now the thing is that I don't think he's ready for MLS. He's not at that level yet, and he may be in a year or two, but he's not now. So it makes sense that he would go somewhere else. And there's no. Some people are talking about like, well, NASL is not a step up anymore, and it's not. It's a lateral move so that he can go somewhere, get that game time, not be a threat to us, and then maybe next year, maybe then he's ready for that move up to MLS, or maybe he starts looking South American, Central American leagues, Europe. Who knows? For an exciting, fast striker. Who knows how to find the goal? There's always going to be some opportunities available for him. So I hate to see him go. He's a fun guy. He's an exciting player to have. I'll miss him definitely as a personality around the team. Will we miss him on the field that much? I hope not. I hope Preki seems to have a plan, and hopefully that pays off. So we'll have to wait and see. He's certainly putting a good team together, and with the wages that get cleared up with Irvin moving and with the compensation that we're getting, which who knows how much that is, that might help us to bring in a few more players. I'm not going to expect any sort of big names. There's not going to be any stars that come in at this point, I don't think. But some solid players that can help in a couple positions. And, that's always a good bet. If you can move one guy on and get two guys in return that are better than half as good as him, then that's not a bad deal. So I'm not going to complain too much if that's what ends up happening here. Excuse me, I've been fighting this cold, and I was promising myself I was going to sniffle, sneeze, or slurp into the mic. So I'm doing my best so far. All right, if you are watching, looks like some people have seen the post at least. If you are watching now and you have any questions, any thoughts on Irvin, just comment, tweet, do whatever you want to do. And so we can actually talk about him. I can give you at least my uneducated opinion on things. Are you pissed that Irvin's gone? Do you think Preki messed that one up? Have you started to lose faith in Preki? We've seen a lot of the players we know and love leave. Certainly looks like he's brought good guys in, but we're losing a lot of what kind of was the heart of the team. And as how much of a grace period do you get Brecky now with these fan favorites leaving town, kind of one right after another, especially some that seem shockers that nobody thought were going anywhere. Um, and of course, the counter argument to that is that yeah, these were guys who were the heart of a team, but they were the heart of a bad team. They were the heart of a team that wasn't winning. So so yeah, I mean, do we mind these guys going? Is that a bad thing? Um, yes and no. You know, I certainly think that these guys, we're not going to really miss them that much on the field. I don't think. I don't think there's anything that the players who've left offered on the field that we can't have replaced by some of these new guys that are coming in. Now, and part of that's it. These were guys who had, most of whom had 2 years to try. They just couldn't get it done, and they just couldn't put out a good performance week in, week out. And so it's easy to say, well, yeah, these guys, they're just not good enough. Now, I think there's a few guys that I still really think under the right coaching, under the right leadership, with some better players around them, could have really done a job for us. And we're not going to get to see that now. Maybe we'll see them wherever they land next and see how they do there. I am looking at guys like Musa, Jordan Roberts. These are guys I look at. I think they have the talent and they have the ability. Get that right coach, and maybe they can bring out what they're fully capable of. And we'll have to see. That being said, I hope they do well personally, but I hope their teams lose as much as possible. Now but I think the big place we're going to miss these is somebody's got, especially a guy like Musa. He become somewhat of a fan favorite. He was a guy that people really enjoyed watching. I know I certainly did, and he brought a passion, energy, sometimes a little bit too much passion, but he was that kind of guy people could kind of rally around it and enjoy watching. Now, excuse me, sorry. The question is, with these guys going, are we going to fall in love with some of these players as quickly? Because when the team was new and these players first came in, it was easy to fall in love with them because it was a new team, it was exciting. And so kind of everybody got a benefit of the doubt. Everybody, they all had, several month kind of grace period where they could play really badly and we didn't care because they were our team. We're past that point now. We are no longer at a point where we're going to sit back and go, oh, well, this is our team, so we're going to love these guys no matter what. We'll love them, but if they're not good enough, they're not good enough. And they won't really, it's harder for them to kind of capture our hearts that way. Now, we might see that with some of these guys, but they're going to have a little bit harder battle, especially considering, some of them are replacing guys that we did know and love. But the thing that I know with Preki coming in, this is a new coach, a new staff, and they're going to want to change things up. They're going to bring in new players. So is that why we've seen this heavy turnover that we've seen? And if so, fine, that happens. Guys want to bring in their own guys. Now, if this is something that we're just going to have to put up with at USL, that's unfortunate. And I understand it, but I think there are other types of players we can go for. I understand if we're going to go get some young guys that they're looking to move on. And I've always said never a problem if we bring in a young guy, he does well, he moves up, and he goes to MLS or abroad somewhere to a higher level league. That's fine. I have no problem with that. And obviously, sometimes you need guys who get past their prime. Maybe it's time for us to move them on, or maybe they decide it's time to hang it up. That's fine. What the two things I don't like saying are these guys, it's somewhat acceptable when we get a guy who's a young guy, maybe right out of college, or even not doesn't have any college experience, and he comes in and he's a development type player, and we bring him in and he just doesn't develop the way we hoped, and so we move him on. No, that's okay. You're going to do that as long as you're getting enough hits out of that compared to how many misses you're getting. That's fine. That's part of player development. You're not going to hit a home run with every one. So as long as your percentage is good on that, no problem. What I do have the bigger problem with is if we bring in these guys who are supposed to be experienced, supposed to be veterans, and if they don't work out and they're getting that, because that's a bigger problem, because these are the guys we should know what we're getting out of them. So they shouldn't get here and we get surprised and be like, oh my gosh, this guy's nowhere near as good as we thought he was. We should have known that. But they're also probably at a point where they're really not going to move on to a higher level. So they would have already been on that track. And these are the guys that I really hope we can kind of build that team around. I don't expect a full squad of these guys, but 5 or 6 guys that are USL level players. They're not MLS players. They're not, MLS hopefuls. They're USL players, and they can be good, solid USL players for their entire career, so they can stay here. I understand there's a certain level of that. USL is somewhat of a development league. Okay, to an extent, sure, fine, but I don't go to USL games to watch, the players of the future. I go to watch my team now. And so I want guys who I can get to know and I can get to really care about. And if they're here for 1 or 2 years and then gone, that's going to be really hard to do. So I hope that we're not seeing a trend that it's going to be this massive turnover every 2 years. I hope that this is a little bit of an aberration because of the new coach, because of the poor start the team's had last, for the first 2 years. I'm hoping that this is something where this is kind of resetting, almost starting over, and we're going to build from this. And if that's the case, that's fine. Great. Let's do that and let's move forward. But we need something. We need that identity as something to build on that fans can fall in love with. But I will say this is why I don't get players' names on the back of my jersey. I can't imagine having, I still love the guy, but I can't imagine having Musa on the back of my jersey when he's suiting up for Swope Park. Now, my rule is once they retire, that's fine. So Ambersley, sure, I could get Ambersley on my jersey now. But we need to make sure we have players we can fall in love with. And, I'm sure some of these guys can be that. And I'm excited to see it. And I'm excited to see, what this season brings. I'm not going to really spend any time tonight talking about the schedule. One thing I do want to just mention real quick, obviously we got the opener against Louisville in Louisville. Excited. We're going to try and make it that game myself. I have not yet gotten to make that trip. So I'm hoping to do that, especially for the season opener under this, kind of new St. Louis FC. So we'll see how that goes. The one kind of question I have, I know last year was a mess because of the flood. We had to start off on the road, but that is 3 years in a row we've had to start away from home. I was kind of hoping that this year they would give us that first game at home and kind of ignore what happened last year. But it seems like they're taking that still and say, well, no, it's still not your turn. So hopefully next year we'll get that home opener because that'd be fun. It'd be great to get all that energy and excitement. Hopefully get a good solid start to the season. Because that's one thing that's been tough in the last 2 years is that not a great team going on the road for the start of the season kind of puts you behind it a little bit. And if we can get that home start with the crowd behind you, a lot of energy starting the season, that could be a lot of fun. And hopefully start us on a great run. But hopefully we'll still get that in Louisville. They've lost some players, but they're still going to be a good team. They certainly haven't lost as many players as we have. But we lost players from a bad team. So not much worse we could have done. So I'm excited for it. That's going to be all for tonight. Thank you if you're watching. If you're watching this later, please still go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. If you do comment on this video on YouTube, if you have a question, I'll go ahead and I'll address it the next time. Because I really do want this to be kind of a two-way street. And that's what's going to make this hopefully fun. I will get some other people on here, so it's not just me talking all the time. But that'll have to wait kind of till next time. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.